Hey everybody! Today, as you can see, I've got a table full of orchids in bloom, and it was too many, so I didn't bring anything in spike. So June is a good month for me in terms of blooming. So I'll go through all of this with you. But first of all, I just wanted to show you this bouquet that I've made from my flowers that I grow in my allotments. As you have noticed, if you've been following me for some time, I've been growing cut flowers this year, as well as vegetables in my allotment garden. So I just make allotment diaries for you to watch, so please go and check those. But this was a bouquet I've made from my flowers in allotment yesterday. As you can see, there's lots of whimsical and beautiful blooms, such as roses and phlox, annual phlox, nigella. Nigella just started, and all of these beautiful red and white blooms are dianthus. They are biennials. So yeah, I've made this bouquet, and these are cabbage leaf, and just wanted to show you. But now we can go to our orchids, and I will show you one by one what's in bloom for the month of June. First of all, I want to start with this beauty, which is my Phalaenopsis tainxing fly eagle. As you can see, this Phalaenopsis is famous for different colors in the sepal and petals, between red and yellow. So this one has like half these two. There is one bloom, which is this one, has all yellow in one of the petals, and the rest are red, and most of them have red and yellow blooms. So this is a hybrid between species Tetraspis C1, Phalaenopsis tetraspis, and I think is flying eagle, Phalaenopsis flying eagle. So beautiful blooms, and this is so many blooms this year. I never had this many blooms in my Phalaenopsis tainxing. It was mostly 1 or 2, 4 at the maximum, or 5. But this year I think I have about 12 buds and blooms altogether, and it could even produce more, because as you know, these are sequential bloomers, so it can continue blooming from the end of all the spike. So I'm very happy with this blooming this year. I don't know, I haven't done that much. I mean, I will make a care or spotlight. This orchid definitely deserves it for this, for you, so then I can talk about care tips in that video. So for now, I just wanted to show you this. Next, I have my Dendrobium moniliform, Japanese dendrobium. As you can see, it's a small dendrobium, but the blooms are so big and beautiful, as you can see, and slight fragrance, rosy fragrance. It's beautiful fragrance. So I really enjoyed this one, and this was the first time bloomer for me. I've made a spotlight for this orchid, so please go and check that one. I'll link that down below. so then you can you know, learn more about the orchid. I haven't had it for long. This orchid I've had it since September 21, and it bloomed for me this month, or I can say end of May it started blooming. So the blooms are long lasting and beautiful, as you can see. So beautiful. Next I have my Maxillaria variabilis. I've had this orchid for a few years. Started to bloom for me I can say 3 years ago, but then it starts only with one bloom. As you can see, blooms are beautiful and dainty, so beautiful, but very small. But I don't get that many blooms. It's only one for the moment, and then it dries up, and then another bloom comes like a few months later from another pseudobulb. So it's not that like Nina has a giant one of this, and it's always in lovely blooms. But mine is not too big, but it's not too small either. And it started blooming for me 3 years ago, but it's not that many bloom. Okay, and next orchid and I want to show you is this beautiful that's the name, and Delilah Chantilly Lace Twinkle. This beautiful orchid, beautiful and reliable bloomer. It just opened up this morning and it was surprising to me just now. As you can see, it's a beautiful bloom, and this is one of the parents of the famous Cattleya evanagara hybrid that I think lots of people have in their collection. I don't have it, but I have one of the parents, and it's really reliable bloomer. Blooms every year since I've had it. It's been third years I had it, and it blooms for me. It had like 5 bought, but all of them aborted except these 2. And it has a tiny bit of a smell, not too much, a little bit of a bubblegummy smell. Okay, my next, okay, before I go to the new ones, oh yeah, this one was actually in spike last month, and it's in bloom now. Beautiful bloom, magenta color, 2 blooms. So this was Belina Cerulea tetraspecisivon. And I've had it in bud. In my last video was in bloom and spike, which was in May, and now it's in beautiful bloom. I really like the magenta color, beautiful. And there is a rosy fragrance, beautiful fragrance in this one. Next, I have still my Phalaenopsis ID, which has Schilleriana in the background with the mottled leaf, still in bloom, still producing lovely rosy scent, which is from Schilleriana parent. I really like this phal, although it's no ID, but I really adore it. It's beautiful blooms. I think I said that before, that one of my viewers I did this as Giaho Girl, I think. Phalaenopsis girl, and beautiful blooms, as you can see, and the fragrance is so beautiful. And my other phal, which was in bloom, still in bloom. They're so long lasting, the Phalaenopsis, that's why I like them. They're so cheery. You start from like, I don't know, December time started blooming and still in bloom, both of them. If you go back to my previous videos, you see when they started blooming, and they've been in bloom for such a long time. And there is 2 branches here that I'm hoping maybe they can activate and produce some more, because they're not dry or anything, so they can produce more blooms. And this was no ID from IKEA. Okay, and the next bloom that you have already seen, and I've made a spotlight for it, is this beautiful what was it? Black Cometquachi, which is a primary hybrid of Cattleya Beringiana and Prostechia hybrid. And there is a care collab, and also I've made a spotlight for this beautiful bloom, and started blooming I think end of April, and now there's only 3 blooms left and the rest have finished, and that's the last 3. But there is a new beautiful growth, as you can see, but there is no sheet yet, so maybe it sheets once a year, you know, because some orchids can bloom more than once, so I thought maybe the sheet can that new growth produce sheets, but not yet. And also my Dendrobium Roytakanaga. You've seen this orchid in so many videos. Still in bloom, and the bloom, there is last 3 that are not dead yet, but they passed their prime, but they still blooms and beautiful. I still enjoy them on my kitchen windowsill. But look at how many new growths. There's one big one here, 2, 3, 4. This was a new growth, 5 for this year, 5. So far 5. I think by the end of year it's gonna be even more new growths. So that is a very good orchid to keep. Highly recommended, and it's very easy to bloom and look after. I've made a spotlight for this as well. You can go and check it in my videos. And there is 3 orchid in bloom, which is not, I don't take the credit for blooming them because I bought them in bloom, and one of them is this beautiful Phalaenopsis Pulp. As you can see, that's the tag. It has light scent. Now that I'm sitting here, it has a light scent, soapy scent, I think I can say. But it's so beautiful. I bought it for the color. It's so beautiful and floriferous, and it's very close to the species. So it must be one of those novelty hybrid or something, but I haven't researched the parents or anything. I just got it, and I've made a unboxing video, that I'm not sure if I'm gonna post that before this, or yeah, probably before this in bloom orchids in bloom, so then you can see when it came. But it has, this orchid has actually two, I'm not sure if that's a keiki, but it seems that there's two like seedlings been put up into one, and they just grown on, and they've produced, each produced, one of them I can see that the small one has 2 spikes and the other one has 4 spikes, so I've got 6 spikes in total. I'm not gonna separate it because I had this experience. I had something similar from previous orchids that I bought. They were planted together and I separated them, and you know, they died. But that was another story, and that orchid was also infested by mealybug. But for the moment I'm just enjoying these beautiful blooms. I haven't decided what to do with it, but it needs a repot because it's overgrown, as you can see. If I can take it out, look at the roots. So yeah, but I don't know when, because it's got so many beautiful blooms and it's not gonna be out of bloom anytime soon. Okay, and so that's the first one from my unbox hauls, and this was the next orchid that I've got in bloom, and it's a beautiful Miltoniopsis. I love Miltoniopsis, especially the ones with a beautiful scent. This one has rosy scent, and when I unboxed it, the box was like all perfumed by this orchid, and so beautiful. It's a no ID Miltoniopsis, but it's so beautiful. I really like this fountain pattern on the lip. Really love the color, and this is one of my favorite Miltoniopsis, and that as soon as I saw it in the website I had to order it. I like to collect more Miltoniopsis, but I haven't figured out, I've had Miltoniopsis before, but as soon as I repot them they die. But this year I'm going to repot once. I've heard something, I looked at one of the videos and they said that you have to repot it when in autumn time, Miltoniopsis, when they start new growth. I've seen a new growth here, but it's too small, so I will enjoy the blooms, and probably in September I will repot it into inorganic this time. I definitely would do pumice and leca mixture or something similar, because my 2 other Oncidium Alliance that I've done that repotting, they're doing very well and they haven't died since my repot. So I will do the same for this Miltoniopsis and hopefully keep it alive. And my last but not least beautiful orchid that I've ordered in this order is this variegated, if you can see, it's a variegated pseudobulb, Maxillaria tinfoil, with lots of bloom. As I said in my unboxing video, I didn't expect it to be this big. The pseudobulbs are so big. I bought this orchid previously so many times, but they've never been as plump and big as this one, and also it's in beautiful bloom, so I couldn't pass this one out. I had to order it and I have to try it again. I've had Maxillaria tinfoil before, and as I said, one of them came into those coconut chunks, coconuts the whole thing was into planted into coconut fiber. It was so difficult to remove and repot, and that was a big shock to the orchid, I think, and that died. And prior to that, I had very small tiny ones that you buy from nurseries. They sell it as a blooming size, but they never bloom because they're so small. But this one is so beautiful. Look, I'm so pleased with this, with the blooms. I must admit it doesn't have smell, or I haven't detected anything yet, as the normal tinfoil. But it's so beautiful that the blooms are exactly the same, everything is the same, but it doesn't have unfortunately the smell of coconut. But I don't mind it as long as it's so beautiful blooms. Look at this one. It has only also 3 blooms in one pseudobulb. They usually have 1 or 2. That one has 3. This one has 2. So it's so beautiful, and I hope to keep this one alive and happy as well. Yeah. So that's it for the orchids in bloom and spike for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more updates such as these, and also keep an eye for a spotlight of this orchid. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.